Peace, everybody. I'm with my brother Trac to Trac. I just want to say it's a huge honor for me, though, brother. I heard about Star Child Rock. You know what I'm saying? I remember. I think it was the rap pages. They had the b-boy issue.
Exactly. Kenny on the cover.
Yes.
And inside of it, it says Puerto Rock of Ages.
Right.
Yes.
So when I read about that, because I wanted to read about you because I remember the Freak. Freak out.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I heard there was Star Child Rock and Star Child Freak.
Yeah. The ladies had the red and white and we had the blue and navy blue.
Okay. Can you tell me the origins of like the Star Child Rock? Like when did you come out with that? Like a year? And who was involved with that crew?
All right. What happened was we used to hang out around the Southern Boulevard area. Basically the Bronx Park South area.
Okay.
You know, 129 is there, Mohegan, all of that. That's all our stomping ground. Right? And what happened was there was an abandoned building that we used to, you know, we renovated as a clubhouse. And we wanted to distance ourselves as Salso. We wanted to create our own identity. And there was a guy named Mark, right? He used to write RCA and Regis. Right?
Okay.
Phenomenal graph writer. One day he came into the club and we were just chilling. You know, everybody was drinking, whatever. And he wrote on the wall. He wrote his name, Regis RCA Mark, right? And I was like, we wanted to create our own identity outside of being Salso Shorties.
Okay.
I'm a Salso Shorty turned Star Child. So we wanted to create our own identity. So one day he came, chilled, smoked some weed and shit with the brothers or whatever. And we contemplated, right, a name. And my man Blue stood right against the wall and we thinking about a name. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it. I said, yo, how about that name right there? But he had it, La Rock Star Child.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Right.
So he always go to Belmont Park and he would sit down, get some food and shit. My man Angel was like his brother-in-law and he used to have a grocery store. So he went and got some food, right? And we sat down. He was doing this thing. I said, you don't mind if we use that name, man, La Rock Star Child? He said, yeah. I said, but one thing, I hope you don't mind. We're going to change it. We're going to call it Star Child La Rock. He said, you know what? That sounds even better.
Okay. Now,
Mind you, the color scheme was because he tagged on the wall in navy blue ink, and the paint that was on the wall was baby blue.
Okay.
So we took that concept. We took the baby blue as our shirts and the navy blue as the name.
My grandma
So
used to have a Toyota
that's
Corolla.
how where Star Child starts to begin.
And what year was that?
1977.
Oh, 1977.
Yeah.
In 1977, was there a Rocksteady crew? Because I heard 79.
Rocksteady comes out of 79.
79.
70. No, that's a fact.
Okay.
That is a fact. Rocksteady comes out of 79. There is no fucking way in the world.
So in 77, was there a Rockwell Association?
No. Rockwell comes out also like in 79.
Okay.
Rockwell comes out of a crew called RCA Freak Masters.
From the Bronx?
From the Bronx. From the same area.
Okay.
RCA Freak Masters. Phenomenal. So they had a shorty who wanted to battle my brother. My brother Lace. Little Left's teacher.
Oh. What's his name?
My brother Lace.
Lace?
Yeah.
Okay, Little Left's teacher.
Little Left's teacher. So he wanted to battle. Right? And he wanted to battle my brother Lace. And my brother said, for shirts. If you're going to do that, for shirts. Right? My brother put an ass whipping on him. And he didn't want to take off his shirt. Now, there was a guy named Dennis Cruz who was a Golden Glove boxer. who seen it. And he told him, do me a favor, man. Take that shit off. Take that shit off. And my brother went. Got some lighter fluid. Burned it.
And whose shirt was that?
That was, they were called RCA Freak Masters.
Okay.
And the leader was a guy named Manny. Right? After they found that out, because a lot of those Rockwell associations were RCA Freak Masters first. So after that is when Willie Will and the rest of the guys decided that they want to distance themselves from RCA Freak Masters and create your own. They created their own. Name now. So from that point on, they changed the name RCA Freak Masters to Rockwell Association. That's where the name comes from.
That's where it comes from.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And it's all again, situation creates changes. You either build, right, or you move on. You understand?
I'm sorry to cut you off. I heard Frosty mention, and it was an old Rocksteady B-Boy video. He said that he used to be down with a crew called Rock City Crew.
Rock City Crew.
Yeah, can you explain to me Rock City Crew?
Rock City Crew is in Manhattan.
Okay.
It's a Manhattan crew.
Okay, yep.
Right? Now, before they came...
And that was before Rocksteady Crew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rock City Rockers.
Oh, okay.
Rock City
Little
Rockers
Crazy Legs?
Is Kenny's first crew.
Rock City Rockers.
Rock City Rockers, yes.
I heard Little Crazy Legs say that.
Yes. They were called Rock City Rockers.
Oh.
Rocksteady is a Bronx terminology, not a Manhattan. But the first crew they had in Manhattan, they were called Rock City Rockers.
Rock City Rockers.
Exactly.
Wow.
Again, you notice that the rock name is consistent in our history. It wasn't breaking, so it's been rocking.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
If you look at it, Star Child of Rock, you know, Rocksteady Crew, Rockwell Association. Again, it's just a passage, right? It's a passage to create your new identity, but it's a passage that became an evolutionary foundation of what this dance is. You understand? So when you go and you want to put it in chronological aspects of it, the rock part is always there. It's always going to be there because that's the essence of our dance.
Okay.
You know?
With that being said, I also did some research. From my understanding, I heard that the dance was called first, it was called the Boing Yoing.
No, not in my shit.
Okay.
What is the Boing Yoing?
This was the beanie, it was the hat with the little thing that, so when they would do the footwork, it would go boing, boing, boing.
Electric footwork?
Just footwork, I don't know. That's what I'm hearing from out here.
It makes no sense.
Okay.
I don't know what the Boing Yoing is.
You know, like if you have a beanie, it's like boing, boing, boing.
Yeah.
I heard Bambaataa say it, I heard Leg say it, I heard like 5 other people say it.
The Boing Yoing.
The Boing Yoing. The Boing Yoing Yoing.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Another term, the go off.
Oh, that's the go off.
Like he's going off. Like why'd you go off on him?
Exactly.
On the West Coast, we call it getting off.
Yeah.
We called it getting off. Before we even heard anything to do with hip hop, when we seen somebody dance, be like, oh yo, they getting off down the street. That's what we called it. So when I heard the term go off, West Coast we was calling getting off.
Yeah.
That's why they made a song called Get Off by Foxy.
Okay.
They get off, they get off. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember.
That's where we got the term getting off.
Yeah.
Because we heard the Foxy song.
Yeah, but that's more West Coast.
Right.
It was definitely most West.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Our term, we was calling getting off before we even heard about breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the shit that bugs me out. Rocking is the foundation of the evolution. That's just the rock. That's just the facts.
Okay.
Just the names is just a fact. Those facts,
Mm-hmm.
right? West Coast is different.
Mm-hmm.
West Coast is different. Their verbiage is different from us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Much different from us.
Yeah.
You know, I remember in Mr. Freeze's house, you had popping taco there. You had like all the poppers, popping Pete.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had all of them in Freeze's house,
Yeah.
and we were just breaking bread. You know, I think I got most of their fucking numbers on me that I could just call them up, and they would tell you.
Mm-hmm.
They would tell you these are the facts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But again, the verbiage is always giving you a certain timeline.
Right.
You understand? When labels changes, you knowing the atmosphere is starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta adapt to what's happening now for you to stay relevant.
That's why I'm here.
You right? To stay relevant.
That's why I'm here.
You know. When you are considered a ghetto celebrity status,
Mm-hmm.
is when your name supersedes your appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows your name
Mm-hmm.
until they see the actual person.
Mm-hmm.
That's ghetto celebrity status. When your name supersedes your appearance. And when they see, whoa, I didn't expect that. You know?
I get that reaction.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But again, great conversation spurs evolution, right? It allows us to break bread, understanding that what we created is bigger than what we are.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But the legacy of what we've done is still being captured, right? Because Flashdance, the movie, right?
Right.
That movie, everybody had a little videotape of that fucking movie. Especially Europe and everybody. All they kept doing is rewinding it, rewinding it, rewinding it. Who was it? Rocksteady Crew. Rocksteady Crew with legs putting on the fucking wave doing a backspin.
Right.
You understand what
Yes.
I'm saying? So everything, when you look at it, the Rock name always existed.
Right.
Even from back in the days, Burn to Burn, it was called rocking.
Okay.
Oh, what was that? Oh, no, we rocked against them. Burn to get burned is rocking.
Right. I want to ask you a question now since you brought up The Rock. I've heard about this brother, legendary Rubber Band.
Rubber Band.
Can you tell me about Rubber Band?
Rubber Band was one of the guys back in the South Bronx. They used to have a spot, right? I forgot the name of the spot, but because the name changed. My man Willie Estrada knows the name of that spot. Rubber Band learned how to dance, right?
Boricua?
Straight Boricua.
Okay.
His name is Jaime Rosendo.
Okay.
His real name, right? His parents brought him down, and they used to go to this spot, right? And he would win. What happened was, there was a guy named Orlandito. Orlandito was a drug dealer, right? And what happened was, he didn't give up the money, and then he clowned him. He literally clowned him. And when he caught him outside, he stabbed him. Stabbed him up.
Somebody said it was over $1.
What? It was about money that he owed.
Okay.
It was money that he owed.
Okay.
Now, when it came to say $1, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
You understand? He owed him money.
Money. Okay. That's the story.
So whoever add that thing, that may be their version of what they heard. Because you gotta remember, if I tell you something today, by the time it gets to the fifth person, it's changed. They added their own narrative.
Right.
And that's what it was. It was about money.
Okay.
He disrespected him, didn't want to give him the money, and he got stabbed up.
Right. One of the biggest rumors to us on the West Coast was the little kid from the movie Breaking, Coco. You ever heard of him? He was a little Latino kid that was in the movie Breaking.
Yeah.
They said that he broke his neck. So when they said that he broke his neck, they were basically trying to like stop breaking from like just being like a thing. So the rumor that said that.
See, that's those rumors.
That's what it was.
Okay.
He didn't break his neck.
Shit.
He's still alive. He got a
Naturally.
family.
No shit.
Right, but like you said, somebody changed it. By the time 6 people.
There you go.
It was like, yo, he broke his neck.
There you go. There you go. You see, this is different because when you hear a certain name, right?
Right.
That people understand who this person is, and then put something out like that. Do they want to not give him the credit? You understand what I'm saying? Even if he would have broke his neck, his legacies, whether he's alive or not, don't change. Because he's going to be more honored when he's gone than he is when he's alive.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It sells the newspapers. It sells whatever the narrative they want.
Fire. It went through all the whole entire West Coast.
Exactly.
And some kids like they gave it up because they was afraid. They got scared. That was a rumor. If you learn how to spin on your neck, you could break your neck because little Coco broke his neck. So that kind of like shook up our little community.
Yeah.
You know, this is junior high school. Me going into high school.
Yeah.
So I'm 12, 13 years old, and I'm catching this rumor.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to mess with Headspins because I was already shook because somebody spread the word that he broke his neck.
It's crazy. One of the first guy who ever did a headspin was a brother that grew up with us named Swain. Swain. He used to go to junior high school 118 with my brother.
Okay. Is this before Kid Freeze?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
The first headspin ever is a guy named Swain, who became a Star Child of Rock member.
Boricua?
Half black, half Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Named Swain. And my brother, I could call my brother up now, he'll tell you.
Oh, okay. I
I
never heard it.
Yes, you see, you don't hear the names.
Yes.
It's stuck in purgatory right now. You understand? Because people don't know names. People don't know, what was happening. You know, I remember when Flash went into doing music and radio, and then you had all these crews coming together in 118. The Furious Five actually and Cocos came together, creating a super crew. But then later on, this whole racist shit and the separation, what it is. But this shit happened. You see this scar here?
Yeah.
Was in that fucking jam in 118. I was battling.
Oh, okay.
I went back like this, right? At this time, I'm living on Bathgate Avenue. I go back like this, the bottom of a Coca-Cola thing, it went in. And this is the scar. These are called battle scars.
Yes.
Right here, right? I went home, I always had like a bandana, I wrapped it up. I got home, there was a girl named Jeannie who was a nurse who gave me butterfly stitches. Butterfly stitches with Band-Aid.
Okay.
And she would come down, always make sure it was cleaned out. Peroxide, cleaned out. Because literally, this shit right here, all that shit right here was starting to come out. Butterfly stitches, good. And it's crazy. I graduated from a school called PS 58, 176 Washington Avenue, 58. And I got 50 stitches here and 8 here.
From breaking?
No.
Oh.
From being a little kid, just at that time there was no breaking.
Okay.
This is pre-everything as a shorty.
So would you say that would be like 74?
What?
That you said pre-everything? Like before breaking? When you got the stitches?
Everything that you say that's considered breaking is 79 and 80s.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
It's not at that time. It
Okay.
didn't exist. You know what we were into?
What's that?
Tagging, trains, tagging bus, getting our name all over the place. They say, how you get your name? Oh, I got that from, my father's razor blade. Right? And it was track 2. Literally, track 2. And it was done by Roman numeral.
Okay.
And then later on, I stopped doing the Roman numeral and kept the number 2 now. Again, I took what I seen in my house, gave myself a name, and then changed just the numeral from the number 2. I mean, the Roman numeral number 2 to track 2. That's how I changed. That's the only thing that I changed.
Okay.
Everything that I changed.
Nice. I'm at Speedy D's house. I look on the wall and I see a poster and it says United States Breakers.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me?
It was a concept.
A concept.
It was a concept. There was a guy named Barry Dean who decided to create a traveling crew.
Okay.
Okay?
And the members are?
It was me. It was Spirit. Later on, a friend of mine, became of it. Me. Everybody that you see there in that picture.
I see Mr. Freeze.
No, not in the United States Breakers.
Okay. I'll take a look again.
Yeah.
I could have sworn I
It's
seen him in
Speedy
there.
D.
Okay.
It's me.
Okay.
It's
JoJo. JoJo's in
JoJo's in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a concept,
Okay.
right? So he would open up. There was a guy, Arthur. He used to live in Staten Island, and we would go practice there, right? And that's before that crew became. They were noticed taking damn, what's the name of that fucking crew? It's a singing crew. They were from they were from there, and then they came across. And I forgot their name. They used to sing there. And
Okay.
they found, somebody who, promoted and wanted to promote them, right? And that's how we would do. So he would book us, I remember the time we went to Windows of the World, which is, the Twin Towers. We did a show there. It was a Jewish family who was doing a bar mitzvah. And we got paid for that. Good money.
Okay.
Out of all of it, that came with good money.
That was good money?
That was good money. Jewish people?
Couple thousand? About 1,000?
Oh, no. It was about 1,500 each.
Oh, yeah.
When we went there and we had the red, white, and blue, you had the kid that was, the business for him, got the nerve to tell the, literally to our face, are y'all the Harlem Globetrotters? Literally.
Yeah.
And we want, you know how we felt that day?
Yeah.
We wanted to just beat the shit out of him, But the money was good.
Yeah. And how old were you back then?
I can't tell you. I mean, this is the 80s.
In the photo itself, it looked maybe about 23, 24.
Yeah, it could be.
It's taking a while, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back. Yeah.
Right.
Shit, I'm 62 years old.
It's about right, around that age.
I am 62 years old, man.
Okay.
Again, there's a lot of shit that I trace back. That I trace back, being a shorty, wanted to always been, a shorty to fit in, with the older guys. We used to go, my man Peabody, we used to go all the way down to get the federal safety. I mean, when federal safety paint those beautiful purple colors, we used to go up to near Connecticut, and we used to go there with like my brother's army jacket that had extra pockets, and we would go out and break out because everybody was wearing Krylon with that, Krylon.
Yeah.
But the federal safety, when you look at Lee's P, those are all federal safeties. They were fucking expensive. They wasn't Krylon. You have banana yellow, you have fire, you know, I mean, they had names to these fucking things. If you Google it,
Yeah.
Federal Safety Paint back then, all the colors that they had. And then, in order for you to do your fillings, you know how you would do the fillings? That when the spray came out, it's fatter than just a regular thing?
Right.
It's from a Jafone. Jafone to clean your freaking oven.
Yeah, oven is called oven off or something like that.
Yeah, they were called Jafone.
Okay, Jafone.
Jafone, you would spray it, and
Yeah.
then when everything starts to come down is when you wipe it.
Oh, right.
They go your fat cap.
Right.
They go your fat cap for you to just really, you know, exactly.
Yes.
We went from nylon, just regular tagging, to finding out your phone in order for you to finish your pieces, and then going up to Connecticut and getting those fucking federal safety colors. Come on.
And Rust-Oleum was like a...
Rust-Oleum, that's another one that they would use. You understand? Again, Krylon, Rust-Oleum, those was like the beginnings.
Yes.
But when you look at the color scheme, you'll probably get maybe, with Krylon, you're gonna get the silver, the black, you know, the usual, maybe a blue, or whatever the case may be, or orange and stuff like that. But you know how long it take for you to do that shit? You know, you're gonna stay there all day.
Yeah.
You know, you're fucking, and if it's windy, your fucking jackets got all the fucking paint on it, shit like that. You know? Back then, we used to jump the fucking conductors in order for us to just bomb the inside. And
okay.
Yeah. Either that, or they'll find a conductor that's willing to sell it to us.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then the layup was 149th Street, 3rd Avenue, where everybody came out taking pictures. Especially when it came out.
The next
Not
day.
only that,
Yeah.
you know how it comes back out. Now you got your indoor, and now you got the outdoors. Now you see all of that. Then they had a guy named Hickey and Ski. They were the graffiti. They were the sheriffs of the graffiti.
Oh, okay.
Hickey and Ski was the guys that were anti-graffiti. And anybody who knows from back then who were the anti-graffiti guys, and they're gonna say Hickey and Ski.
Okay.
If they don't tell you that, they wasn't around. I'm giving you places where we hung out as graffitis writers. Especially you go to Woodlawn, right? Woodlawn, you have all the layups already there. Oh my God. You get all the layups. You know, now you got your phone, you got all this, you got all of that. I mean, phenomenal. Phenomenal. They talk about, well, it was somebody in Philly who was the first graffiti writer. You crazy. The first graffiti writer is Tacky 183rd. Tacky 183rd. Way before. Then they had a lady named Prey.
Pray?
Prey. It was an old lady that used to hide out. In the tunnels. Right? My brother ran into him and into her. And what happened was, my brother told me the whole story, that she came down because her sister, she wanted to surprise her sister, who came from Chicago for her birthday. And she died. She died. And she didn't know how to leave. My brother went, fed her and everything. And before you know it, she was tagging Pre. And you know how she was tagging it?
Well, what?
She was taking a key and scratching it.
Oh, okay.
Scratching everything that's metal. Pray.
Okay.
And the reason she wrote Pray is praying for the sister that she had just lost. When you ask anybody who was the #1 artist or Tagger. Go look at that history.
Okay. Did you ever hear of a lady writer named Eva 169?
I heard of her.
Okay.
Never get to. I seen it. I heard it.
Okay.
But I don't know the person. I
Okay.
don't know where she comes from or anything like that. The first masterpiece is Super Cool 223.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. Puerto Rican.
Boricua.
Puerto Rican. The
Where was
first,
he from?
From the Bronx.
Okay.
From the Bronx.
I've always heard of. I seen this piece, Super Cool 223
Yes,
with the
the
polka
first-
dots, with the little dots. in
The
it.
first masterpiece was a Puerto Rican from the Bronx. Facts. You can't dispute that. It's a fact. And he's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So they could say whatever they want to say. But it is the next generation. Now you got to remember, when you look at the Super Cool that's considered, and mind you, this is way before anybody from the West Coast was doing. I mean, from Philly was doing. Oh, this the Tacky 183 is number one. Number one.
As far as tagging,
It
yes.
was Tacky 183.
And then Super Cool 223 was.
Yes.
Okay.
Was the guy that changed it
He changed it.
into what we call a masterpiece.
Oh, okay.
Super Cool did the first masterpiece.
Would this be around 80, 81?
No, this is the 70s.
70s.
All 70s, man. All 70s. All 70s.
Okay. That's nice.
Let me see if I tell you. Let me see if I got. Damn, do I got a picture of him? I know I had a picture of him. I know we had a picture that he took with us. Let me see if I can
What are you
find it.
yelling about? So, Trac, while you're looking for that B-girl history, though, from my knowledge, I just heard about Pebble Poo,
Pebbly Pooh?
Pebbly Poo, Shy Rock, Hespin Janet.
Oh no, Hespin Janet is us. She's from Bronx Park South.
She is?
Yeah.
Who is Hespin Janet? I don't know her history.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about Hespin Janet? I heard she was down with Rocksteady. That's what Leg said.
She was down
Okay.
with TBB Joe's chapter on Bronx Park South. Right?
Okay.
Then later on, when they used to practice in a Buckford's building, she became Hespin Janet.
Hespin Janet. So she had the one-shot Hespins?
Yeah. Yeah, Hespin Janet.
She
So
would get like the couple of drills?
one shots.
How many drills? Maybe 2 or 3?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, but she was the first one.
She's the first one.
The first one to ever do a Hespin is Hespin Janet. And she's from Bronx Park South. By the Bronx Zoo.
For the B-girls?
For the B-girls.
Okay.
Legendary. Legendary.
I've heard her name back in the day. Even in the 90s, I heard about Hespin Janet.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Know her personally.
Wow.
That's the difference. Listen to what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is where it is. Okay. She became a shorty to when Rocksteady became Rocksteady.
Okay.
She wasn't there earlier, but she became a part of Rocksteady. And she was highlighted by them heavy. Heavy.
Yeah.
So you saying the first real one has been Janet? Goddamn fucking crazy.
Okay.
You can. Right. Talking about Hespin Janet.
Oh man, she was one of the dopest hoppy rockers in the house.
Yep, there you go.
Ooh.
Again, they went from where? To Hoppy Rockers. That was the
Hot Feet Rockers?
Hoppy Rockers is the second division of them. Of
Oh.
Rocksteady.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh,
That's crazy.
there you go.
Yeah.
You heard what he said?
Yeah.
Legendary. Why you think and they call her what? Hespin Janet. Hespin Janet.
We had a girl on the West Coast. Her name was Yvonne Mendoza. She was in Air Force. Caesar taught her how to do power, and she was dope with the
naturally.
headspins. But this is like 82, 83.
That's when power moves is starting to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
And she could do flares. She had a couple of flares.
You see now, flares is scissors.
Yeah.
That's flares.
Right.
That comes from Thomas Flair.
Kurt Thomas.
Kurt
Yes.
Thomas. But there was a guy named Ron Gallimore who was better.
Okay.
Google his ass up. Phenomenal black
Okay.
guy.
I even asked MIKEY-ICE when was the first time that he ever seen like the flare, like not on TV, but physically in person. Do you remember the first time you seen somebody do the Thomas flares in front of you?
The Thomas flares?
Yeah, the Thomas flares, the Kurt Thomas flares.
The first person I seen do that. I can't tell you. who.
Okay. I remember the first time I seen it was in '83. It was a dude named Chris Fleming. He did 2 of them. I didn't even see Kurt Thomas, but when he did it, he said they were called Thomas flares.
Exactly. Because he did the scissors.
Right.
He did the scissors.
Right.
Where you think I get half my fucking moves from? The pommel horse.
Okay.
Right? Because you have to travel the pommel horse. That means you have to when you go across, you have to use those little horseshoe things in order for you to travel.
Okay.
Right? And 90% of the time, you literally have to get into a handstand to dismount. They go my 1990s. They go my flare, what they call, or whatever they were. They go the ARCCs. That's just a fact. You know, that came later. That came later. My biggest inspiration in gymnastics was a Romanian girl named Olga Corbin. Google her.
Okay.
She inspired me to become a gymnast. She did. She did. That Romanian girl.
Right.
Google her.
So when it comes to the West Coast, Style Elements crew, I'm sure you heard of them.
Of course.
How do you feel about like Style Elements crew when you first started hearing about this crew? From my hometown, which is the 209, I come from Style Elements crew. That's my crew.
Yeah.
I met the guys before they was even they were called Style Elements crew. They were called the Children of Al Capone.
Look at it.
This is '93.
Yeah.
They didn't become Style Elements till 1995.
Yeah.
By the time they got to maybe about 96, 97,
That you
they
know why?
changed the
You know
world.
why they changed it?
I know why.
You got more people in their crew.
Right. I was there before Donnie knew Ariston.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Stacks Donnie, I call him.
You call him what?
Stacks Donnie.
Right.
Cause he's, oh my God.
Right.
Stacks Donnie.
What's your opinion on the brother named Romine?
Oh, Remind?
Yes.
Oh, Remind he was what we call a wannabe. Remind is a wannabe version of Ken Swift.
Okay.
Because there was a time that they put him on a pedestal, and he didn't know that Ken Swift was there, and he shot down. He stopped dancing. Literally.
You think that the styles were similar?
What? No.
Okay.
No. It's a wannabe version of Ken Swift.
Okay.
Period. He is the greatest b-boy of all time. Period. Look at Kim. Ask K Mel. He's like, oh, there's no comparison. There's no fucking comparison. You know?
Yeah.
Because there's certain people in their repertoire that they use all the time, that somebody who has mastered certain things, they become, how you say, complacent. While Kenny evolves continuously.
The first time I heard of Kenny, I heard his name was Ken Ski.
Never heard of him.
He has it on the shirt.
He did? Okay.
It says Ken Ski.
Okay.
Then they used to call him Kid Zoom.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I seen it on the shirt said Ken Ski.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Then he became the Prince Ken Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the greatest.
Yeah.
He's the motherfucking
I was
greatest.
super inspired by Kenny in the 90s because I seen him at the B-Boy Summit 3 when they battled Style Elements.
Yeah.
And I was sitting front row.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody with that many moves in my life.
Let me tell you, when I again, when I created that move, you know, the 1990, and it was because of Ken Swift, man.
It was what?
It was Ken Swift.
Okay.
Ken Swift used to do a 1990 backspin back then,
I seen it.
right? I went Rocksteady Park. I seen them, talked about it, and I told them, I said, yo, Kenny, I got this move, right? And you don't mind if you let me keep, you know, the name, right? I told them, I got a move called the 1990 thing. And then I showed them what it was. He was like, oh shit, that shit is futuristic. Oh, hell yeah, keep it. Hell yeah. He blessed me. The greatest one blessed me
Yes.
in Rocksteady Park.
Oh, okay.
In Rocksteady Park. That's where the name comes from.
Okay.
And I went back, called him there, and he blessed me.
Right.
Come on.
So my last and final question to you, how do you feel about breaking today since you've seen it from the 70s,
Yeah.
80s, 90s, and the late 2000s? How do you feel about breaking today?
I think breaking it lost the fundamental aspect of what the dance is. Because everything right now, again, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, because I was the first one to actually put gymnastics in it, to the point where everything now looks gymnastics,
Yeah.
and the essence of the dance is being overshadowed
By gymnastics.
by gymnastics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because half of these guys, you're not going to see them in a battle doing real footwork. And if it does, that means, and if somebody has gymnastics with footwork on it, that means they know the history. That means they stay down to the actual foundation of what it really is. You know? But everybody knows when you look at different places in the scale of what we call hip hop, right? When you look at Europe are phenomenal when it comes to presentation. That's their backbone.
Oh, yeah.
It's presentation, right? That's what it is. Because they're phenomenal people who just create shit. You understand what I'm saying? But it fits what it is.
Right.
You know? So when you actually put it on, you can actually see real evolution. There is no one person. There is no one person. And then the 1982 Roxy tour made it global. Where back then everybody wanted to know who the fuck did this move and just that little park scene. I remember when he had to put on the wig.
Yeah.
And why not with like, yo, you know who was the baddest fucking female breaker? It was that bitch who did the head spin. I mean, did the fucking backspin in that movie. Cause he dressed up
Yeah.
for it. Now, that movie alone went fucking global. It was no breakers. This was the Rocksteady crew, 1982.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, that whole shit in B Street, where you see them in the park. Everybody grabbed that fucking tape. Who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
They are shorties. They are shorties. Everybody, yo, you know how many Europeans was coming down now to find out who the fuck they are. They needed to conversate with them. But they're part of who we are.
Right.
And I'm glad they did what they did. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Kenny used to go and do his practice session, had his own shit, and then he would sell it, like almost like the bootleg Betty type of shit.
Yeah, the bootleg Betty tapes.
Exactly. And legs wanted half of it, you know, wanted. I said, no, this is me. I took the time to do this. I took the time to do this, man. This is my shit. You could do your own shit. You know? They got a little animosity there, but the respect has always been there. You understand what I'm saying? You can't take away from what these guys done. Then now it's come on, it's a culture, it's a European culture.
I know.
You know, when you got these guys from, again, you have people who are gymnasts. You know, you can't fuck with the fucking Asian community. Their whole background is Asian, is gymnasts.
Yeah.
That's who they are. So when you look at it, in the Bronx, it's actually the melting pot. Because it reaches more. Only for them to want to know what it is now. So when I say we are the foundation to an evolution that became global, very marketable. Now you got like, you know, you have Red Bull there. You have, what is it, Monster there. They're creating a lot of money. A lot of money. Because people still want it. They want it. You understand?
I got it.
So again, it's a great marketing tool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, when you lose your soul of who you were, and you speak different from what you once was, because you want to fit into a narrative that's today. But why not keep the history that's already established and just keep that alive? Then you sold yourself to the devil, so to speak. But that's just my opinion.
Right.
Right now, I am the spectator. I am the spectator. I'm a spectator of something that I love. You know, there's not a documentary I'm not in. Freshest Kids, Mom with a Hip Hop, Underground Dance Master. Tell me which documentary I'm not fucking in. Well, when you hear Mr. Free goes, oh my God, you got it. Oh, these guys wasn't bummy. They were dressing nice. Oh, they go Trac 2 with his big old nameplate. These guys was dressed fly and everything. But these niggas was nasty. And this is Mr. Free saying it. This is Mr. Free saying that shit. You can't deny that. Everything that you see today comes from the root of these people.
Star Charlie Rock?
Again, whatever crews were there,
Okay.
they come from the root of these people. It could be New York City Breakers later on, or whatever the case may be. We are the foundation. You have the big guy from New York City Breakers. He was like, oh,
Flip Rock.
no.
Clown.
No. The tall guy from New York City Breakers.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Tell me. Tell me what you want to say.
Right. He says it. Right. In the movie. And, oh my God. You know, back then, Trac was considered the
Noel Manuel.
yeah.
That's him.
Yeah. He was considered to be the best b-boy of all time. I mean, that generation. You understand what I'm saying? Now you having the second generation basically speaking on who we were.
Right.
Oh, these guys wasn't bummy. They go Trac 2 with his big old nameplate. And I still got that nameplate. That original fucking nameplate. And the nameplate earring. I still got that.
Okay.
Right? From the 80s. Again, history is made, not made up. Now, when you speak to certain people, you're either going to find history or history that somebody else told them.
His story.
It becomes his story and try to make it history.
Right.
History is evolution. You got to get better. And the generations after us got better.
Right.
But they never take away the essence of the dance of what it is. Period.